revealing costumes are just to grab attention or just to make sure that they're better than the other girls. No, girls are not here. They're not my competition here.
And I saw it. I was like, oh, that girl is super cool. But not like everybody will take it in a good spirit, right? You're enjoying your life, you're doing what you like, but is it necessary for you to post on social media?
Drunk and spank a guy's butt in the bar and gonna behave nasty? No.
And you get this Instagram notification saying 2 years back you did this is your reel. It kind of makes you feel happy.
Half the comments that I got from my friends are like, you started a fundraiser and now if you're posting that you got a new car, what are people gonna think?
I braided my hair, I did makeup, I wore the best sari that I ever had, I wore all the jewelry, and I went walking to my party's house.
I cut my hair, like I just trimmed my hair this one side with a trimmer,
right.
And like I went to the school the next day. I was like, if you want to do it, do it.
She's going out to party, she's doing what she likes. Then she is making herself available for men.
Like, I'm not like the other girls. I hate those people, dude. Like, I'm not like other girls. How are you not like other girls? How is it making you better?
Okay, I'm going to be called a feminist if I say this out loud. It feels like feminism is the biggest F word in the whole society. But
boundary put around women telling, if you are in this certain way, there's nothing wrong going to happen to you. Yeah. But when something wrong happens to them, even when they're inside that boundary, then that's when that woman gets shattered.
Hi Ray, thank you for joining in this episode. I'm so happy that you're here.
I'm glad to come here. At least like finally one rant session with girls.
Yeah.
After so long out of work.
So today's topic on the freedom and fashion. So are we dressing to impress or to express? This is a topic that we will be talking about. And I can't have anybody who is so aesthetically good and who is well dressed, who's bold in whatever she wears, who likes to be just me. I like to wear what I want, and I don't care if anybody judges.
Yeah.
I cannot have anybody better than you.
Okay.
So I see your Instagram posts and all. Okay, நான் ரொம்ப போல்டான ஒரு பர்சன் அப்படிலாம் நான் வெளில வந்து சொன்னா கூட எனக்கே கூட அந்த ஒரு போல்ட்னஸ் கிடையாது to just be me, to just post what I feel like posting. Sometimes நானும் யோசிப்பேன் யாராவது ஏதாவது பார்த்து தான் நினைச்சிருவாங்களோ அப்படின்னு. ஆனா உன்னோட இன்ஸ்டாகிராம் பார்க்கும்போது எனக்கு சம்மல லைக் லுக் அட் திஸ் கேர்ள், she's got a vibe, she's posting it, she's living her life, she's not kind of ஒரு மாஸ்க் உள்ள இல்ல, அவளுக்கு என்ன பிடிச்சிருக்கோ அதை பண்றா, அதை போஸ்ட் பண்றா, இதுல என்ன தப்பு அந்த மாதிரி எனக்கு தோணும். ஆனா உன்னோட இன்ஸ்டாகிராம் பார்த்தே நிறைய பேருக்கு வந்து இந்த மாதிரி இருக்கிறவங்க இருப்பாங்க, people who know you understand you, but அதே மாதிரி ஜட்ஜ்மெண்டலா இருக்கிறவங்க இருப்பாங்க. How do you take that?
So I've heard a lot of comments telling, okay, you just doing it for the clout, the attention and all that. I posted a reel like a couple of years. It was like a small dress just covered like this part of you. And a lot of people told that's not even your body type. It's like you don't even have like big stars, and people don't even find it attractive for you to dress like that. I was like, damn dude, I really don't give two shits about that. And because me wearing it, I feel like it's the own ego boost for me, and rather to tell people that, oh, I'm just beautiful looking than all these other people. That's not my goal. People do think girls wear beautiful, or like all they think revealing costumes are just to grab attention or just to make sure that they're better than the other girls. No, girls are not here. They're not my competition here. I just see them like a place where I just walk in and I just feel like she's wearing this, so this has got to be her vibe.
Yeah.
I have to give that impression wherever I go. So when I dress, it's like this is more of my vibe today.
Right. Yeah.
So when I'm just depressed or like sad or something, I don't feel like the urge to dress out like myself. I go with like a baggy thing that I'm really comfortable with. Say that I wear like a loose ass trousers with just a comfortable boot of mine with like a loose drop shoulder thing, probably a cap because I don't want to see anyone or socialize with anyone.
Also sunglasses, so nobody knows you're looking at that.
You've seen me with all that hoodie or this baggy thing, because that day I just don't want any interaction with you people. That's just me. Just leave me out of it. So my dressing tells a lot about my day. I just feel like this is more comfortable, and I just dress myself, look at the mirror, I'll be like, that's your vibe today.
Don't you think in the madri you get a comment, no, like saying if you're dressing for yourself, then what is the need for you to put it out on social media? Or why do you have to put such things on social media? Don't you think people will form judgments about you? There's one reel of yours where you have a beer bottle and then you will be like squeezing a lemon into it. When I saw it, I was like, oh, that girl is super cool. But not like everybody will take it in a good spirit, right? Okay, you are enjoying your life, you're doing what you like, but is it necessary for you to post on social media? Aprina, do you get?
I always see social media to be my social resume.
Okay.
So I don't. You can't put random shit that you didn't. You are not in your resume. You legit put whatever you are on your resume. So for me, social media is like whatever I am. It's my social media.
Right.
I don't feel a point of covering up. Me having a cigarette in my hand, or me having a beer bottle in my hand, or me just wearing a short comfortable trouser with just a tank top covering my titas. I don't feel like I at this point I'm like, this is me. If you want to put up with this, just follow me.
Okay.
This is just people are just going to see your resume and say like, some people are going to think it's awesome, some people are going to think it's dumbass. So you just judge me based on that. It's just a social yes and no. I get. So it doesn't matter anyway to me.
The people who know you will know you. Like,
yes,
like your circle will be like, okay, this is my girl. My girl is just doing her own thing, and very will be happy for you. But the people who just see you from nowhere on social media or even at work, if people just don't know you as a person, they are obviously going to judge. So
yes,
who cares?
Probably that lemon squeezing beer bottle thing was me just going out with my friends. I just wanted to have a Corona for myself, the beer. So I always top it off with a beer. So I usually do that. So I just thought, my friend recorded a snap video of me. I just saved it like a couple months later. I just wanted to post it telling, oh, this I usually do.
Okay.
So this lemon pairs good with Corona. So I was looking cool in that video. Why not? So it's just like that. It runs off in my head like that. Rather to think, oh, what are people going to think? It's a beer bottle in my hand. Are they going to think I'm going to drunk and spank a guy's butt in the bar and gonna behave nasty? No. I probably would have drunk the Corona and cried myself on the way home. Probably people don't know that. So my social media is just whatever happens in my life, the bits and pieces that I collect. So I just want it to be there like a souvenir or something like that. A small bits of my life put along together is my social media. So
I'm also, I like posting pictures and all. Like there are certain, I'm not as I come out as this person, oh, she's so bold, she's talking about everything, she's strong and all, but I don't have that courage that you have to even post something like that, because I myself is a person who will think, what will people think? So I can say I have not come to that realm of feeling free to post whatever I want, at least not now. But I'll agree when you said people are putting out posts on social media. They're using it as a platform to only showcase the happy part of themselves, while their sad, deep, dark parts gets hidden. There are so many times that we might not feel okay, but we would still have posted a selfie. Nobody would know. There was one video that Lily Singh, she actually I saw in one of her interviews, she posted a picture and then she literally said, okay, I am depressed today, and that post came out, and she, upon asking her why did you do that, then she was like, I feel like social media is become like a place where you can only put something that is happy. If you don't put it that way, if you're putting something that doesn't align with the conventional view of people, then you are going to be judged. Why do you have to do that? Why do you have to project yourself weak? Why do you have to put yourself out for people to judge you? You first cover yourself. You first protect yourself so that people don't talk about you. So that kind of perception, is there inside me also. Like, I'll agree. Although you are this bold, but I'll agree that is there. But one thing you said, social media is like a souvenir. When you get this Instagram notification saying 2 years back you did this is your reel, it kind of makes you feel happy. So you take photos. I'm so much into taking photos, posting it on Instagram, saying like, oh yeah, I feel good. It's not for the likes. We're not doing it for the likes. We're not doing it for the comments. We're not going to engage with everybody who's going to comment on the post. So that thing I think I will be able to relate with you.
And the thing is, like, I feel like human brain is just weird. Probably when you're going through a whole meltdown, I'd look into the mirror and be like, oh, see, my eyelashes are just curled 2 mm more curlier today. I just have to capture this now, even if I'm depressed. And I feel good about that part of my depression.
Right.
And I'm still depressed, right? So you can't tell when I'm depressed. You told me that posting a photo telling that I'm depressed today is going to create a lot of controversies, telling, oh my god, probably people might think she's doing it for attention, so that people will text, are you okay, and all that. I don't think that is it. I'm depressed today is just a part of me, and me taking a selfie is probably something was running in my head at that point where I had to feel better about it.
You feel like you're putting a part of you outside when you post.
Yes,
A
so
lot of times people not realize it. When you're posting something, you feel like, okay,
it's let out.
It's let out. It's out in the universe, because a lot of times when you're not feeling okay, you'll not want to sit and talk with somebody, but you're just okay to post something on Instagram or on Facebook or whatever. But then you feel like you're letting that bad part of you go out into the world, and it's not there in you anymore. It doesn't
Exactly.
solve the problem, but it still does something inside.
I have faced a similar situation in my life where I told you like a year back my father was really sick.
Right.
And you know, we exhausted all the insurance that we had for him, and we had to raise a fundraiser for to like 10 lakhs or something to collect some of the you know, funds for his miscellaneous expenses, such as to get some high end medicine, something like that. So back then, what happened before my father suddenly fell sick, before a month back, I booked my first car.
Okay.
And I finished my college and I just went off to Goa. And I'm in Goa and my car is gonna get delivered in a week notice. So I'm planning all this in my mind. I'll come back from Goa, I'll take my car and do all that thing. And suddenly I got a call from my father when I was in Goa telling he's admitted in hospital and he's like really, really sick, and he's, you know, there's no hope of him to come back to life. So I had to suddenly leave Goa, go there, and I pushed all of this further, and I had paid for the car previously before that. And after all this fundraising thing, and my father was out of the operation, we have saved him and we have done all this, and I've thanked all the people who have contributed to his, you know, getting well journey. And this car thing happened and I posted about the car. Half the comments that I got from my friends are like, you started a fundraiser and now if you're posting that you got a new car, what are people gonna think? People are gonna think that you're doing out of that money. And oh, this girl, she collected money for her father a month back and now she's like some rich ass girl, she's getting a car.
Right.
I was like, dude, I'm earning and I'm planning to get my car. Probably I would have got it in EMI. Probably I would have got it in the money that I've saved long back, and I already paid for the car before my father fell sick. So I didn't have all these urges to, you know, explain or prove myself to the people.
Right.
My father has moved on, dude. He's started walking now. He's feeling better now. I've been there for him. I've done all my part and my help there. And now it's my turn to feel happy about my life.
When my grandfather died, I think it was 4-5 years back, and it was around this time only. So it was in September, and it was Diwali time. So he passed away 1 week before Diwali, and it was Diwali time, and I was very not okay with him not being there and all that. During Diwali, so it's normally like when you're mourning somebody, you're not supposed to dress better, so you have to mourn them throughout. So you have to maintain that sadness inside of you, and even the grief, and the house also will be a little gloomy. Then it was Diwali, and then I don't know what I thought. I was very sad, and I was not okay about it, because that is the first death I was seeing, like
Experiencing in life.
I was very small when my grandma passed away.
You
from
don't know
my
the
father's
impact.
side. Yeah, so this is the first time I was seeing like somebody lying dead in your house. So I was very very disturbed because of it. And you know what I did? I during the Diwali time, I went to my other grandmother's house. I was all dressed in sari. I wore like I never wear flowers. I took like a bunch of flowers, and I had it in my head. I braided my hair. I did makeup. I wore the best sari that I ever had. I wore all the jewelry, and I went walking to my party's house. And my party was so shocked, and she was like, "What is wrong?" When I was getting ready, also my mom was shocked. My dad was shocked, and my dad still, you know, said, okay, it's fine, she can wear what she wants, because even if her granddad was alive, he would have still been like, okay, she's doing something she likes, she looks pretty, she looks good in sari. That's how he would have thought. So even he being dead, he wouldn't think like, why is she not mourning me? He would think like, my granddaughter is just doing what she likes. That's how he would also perceive. So why should we judge? That was my dad's reaction. Then I went walking back. I am going to my grandma's house. Everybody is shocked. So people are a little scared to come and talk to me in the house. So they really couldn't like ask, why are you dressed like this? Sometimes we dress up
to feel better.
Yeah. Sometimes when you are dressing up, you feel nice. Our moods change. Sometimes when you're not okay. Sometimes if I just do a skincare, or if you put on some face pack on your head and listen to your own music, that feels good. So
yes, it's not like you're doing something for yourself to feel better.
Right.
dressing yourself, doing skincare is one step ahead of me doing something from morning.
Right.
So it improves my mental health and the way I look, or probably it just gives me some confidence boost or something it can do to my head. It's very subjective towards the person.
Right.
Why can't people just acknowledge that and just leave that alone and not stop questioning about it?
Right, yeah. You said you're very outright, and I am what I am. If people can like me, they can like me. If they don't have to like me, they don't have to like me. But sometimes, do you think by your appearance, even before people know who you are, you're being judged? Like, for example, Ray is someone who posts all these things. Ray is someone who does all these things which are not conventional. And Ray comes out to be as a person who's so super on your face and super, like attitude, girl with too much attitude, too much scene.
I've got all this.
So have you got those comments? And if you have got, how do you see that?
I see that, like, probably a person who could spend the entire day with me would know what I am.
Right.
And for all these people, I have got all these judgments in throughout my life. People used in my 11th, 12th, they used to call me bitch Ray because they had that stereotype that, oh, all the boys go talk to her. She's like very open-minded. I had a boycott in school in my 12th standard. And they asked me to plait my hair in twos. I said, no, I can't. I was like, your hair is like, lengthier than like this part of your shoulder. You'll have to do it. Then I just contemplated a bit. I went back home. I cut my hair. Like, I just trimmed my hair this one side with a trimmer.
Okay.
And I just got this cut. I just had like this
One
part
side
of my
trim.
hair.
Okay,
I just trimmed the other side.
Right.
And like I went to the school the next day. I was like, if you want to do it, do it.
Yeah.
Now you can't do anything about it. And people were like, oh, she's like very rebellious and she thinks it's cool. It's not cool, dude. I'm not comfortable wearing a plait. I don't want to plait my hair. So it's just simple. Why can't you just let it go? If you have to be more predominant that I'll have to do it, then I have to do something opposite
More
to that.
extreme.
So that you don't come to me telling you'll have to do that.
Yeah.
So every time I did something like that in life, people thought I'm rebellious. People thought I have so much attitude. It's just very simple that I didn't want to plait my hair. It was that simple.
Right.
I'm inside. I'm just very soft, simple.
Yeah. People assume.
Yeah.
They form a judgment of you by the way you have. She has so many tattoos. Okay, maybe she's a rebellious person, or she's not approachable, or maybe I have seen you in office and I've never for once felt like you're not someone who's approachable or anything. I felt like she's cool. She's just doing her own thing. I like the way you dress. I like the things you wear. I am in awe of people who come really well dressed in office. I like to see people
I cherish them as well.
Yeah.
It's like, people are like, oh, stop doing that. It's weird. It's not weird. Look at that girl. She's so pretty.
Yeah.
Girls are like goddess, dude.
Yeah.
And guys don't understand that. They think only straight people can adore girls. Being straight or not, girls are just goddess. You can adore them. The amount of effort they put in to make the day of them and the others better is not the amount of effort that a guy would put in. I'd probably tell that.
Right, yeah.
So I feel like girls have all the, time in the world and the patience in the world to pick their pieces together. Even if they're broken, if they're going through shit, if they're given birth, the postpartum, the period cycle, and the stereotype in the society we are currently living where girls are supposed to be like that, putting up with all these, I think girls are doing an amazing job.
So you also might be getting this thing, right? So she is dressing up openly. She's being this bold girl. She's going out to party. She's doing what she likes. Then she is making herself available for men.
Yes, she's open to sleeping with everyone.
Yeah, she's open to going with any men. It's like a signal that she's giving that okay, I am this girl who can wear any dress that I want. I can do anything. I'm bold, and I'm putting it out on social media also. It's almost like an invitation card for all men to come and approach me, and I am like a pick me girl.
Oh, it's like, oh, I am like this, pick me. Yeah. I'm not like, I totally get it now. Like, I'm not like the other girls. I hate those people, dude. Like, I'm not like other girls. How are you not like other girls? How is it making you better? I get that a lot. Are you like that girl? No, I'm not like that. I cherish women. I'm definitely not that. I adore all women. But as you told, I've got so many comments like that telling it's just making you seem like you're wanting people to just gorge on you and do that. But to be honest, whenever I tried dressing, like exposing myself and dressing, I dance and act way more sluttier with my girlfriends more than a guy, wanting to see me there. So it's like if I go to a pub, there's like this nasty good song going on. I'd probably do all the steps and I'll just grab my girlfriend. I'll just dance and I'll do all that nasty things. I'll just drink a shot and pretend like she's my guy. And I want that. It's not like I don't want guys to come touch on me. Like if some guy just walks behind me, I'd be bossy enough to just grab him and ask, dude, why are you doing that? I'd probably report you to the bouncer or something like that. But when you dress like that in a public or in a pub space, people tend to, come near you, ask you for, if you want a drink if you want to go out on a date, can I take you for a cup of coffee? It's like, dude, I'm not dressed up like this for you. Probably I'm dressed up like this. Probably I feel myself like Katrina Kaif in Chicken-Itcha. And I want to dance like that with my best friend and have that vibe.
Why don't you? I own 2 credit cards, so I don't really need a drink from you.
Yes, so it's like I'm all good. Thank you. I want your creepy face away from me. It's just like that for me. I don't want men to stare at me in public. And so many judgments come along with dressing, even with regards to young people, and it's much worse when it comes to older people.
Right, yeah.
One day I just stood in Anna Nagar in front of Kora. It was like 12 or 1 in the night. I was drinking some beverage, or I just got some cold drink. I was just drinking it. And there were like 2-3 people who in bikes who just went in like 120, 130 and something. And a police guy, like patrol vehicle, came behind that. He stopped right next to me and like a few other friends who were with me in that place. And this guy was like, I was like, we're not doing anything. There are so many other people also in the road who are also having food. We're doing the same thing. Why should I even go from here? She's like, this girl is wearing such short dress. And that's the reason why all those people are speeding, just to show off in front of this girl. I was like, dude, you don't have balls to go catch that dude who went rash driving throughout the road.
Right, yeah.
And you had the balls to come talk to me telling that just because this girl is standing like this on road, the guy there got triggered and wanted to show off his biking, talent.
Yeah.
And he just, went rash driving on the road like that. It didn't make sense to me. I started fighting with the cop, telling, so if you have a daughter, you're going to do that same thing to your daughter.
Yeah.
Asking her to, he was like, yes. I was like, then I'm really sorry for your daughter.
He would have said, first of all, my daughter wouldn't dress like you. It is so.
He did, dude. It's like, I would not let my daughter out of the house after 10 o'clock, dressing like this, with a guy friend standing around her like this, which is going to create a very bad impression. And I was just looking at my girlfriends and like, we literally came here to drink payasam. Why would I want to create so much nuisance? I don't know. I'm not here to create nuisance, sir. I just came here for the payasam. I'm done with my payasam. I'm going back home. I'm not here to do anything.
Yeah.
I didn't trigger those people there. Probably it's their mindset. They drove it like that. Probably you should go talk to them and not me.
Right.
And I really felt bad for the dude's daughter, dude.
There is this certain normalcy that everybody has come together collectively and put as a society. Okay, I don't know what society is, first of all, but they have put it somewhat, okay, whatever. And they have put this normalcy, and anybody who's even deviating 1% away from that normalcy, they are bound to be judged.
Yes.
It is not right. And also women get judged more. Okay, I'm going to be called a feminist if I say this out loud. It feels like feminism is the biggest F word in the whole society, but now... Okay, whatever. I'm just gonna say it. The judgments are very easy to be passed on our girls because you dress certain way and you go out and something happens to you. You are the one who will get raped and you are the one who has to carry the child, or if you get pregnant and all that. So you have to make sure your virginity is intact. You have to make sure that you are a protective woman yourself, so that you don't get into all these things. So that's why we are saying, see. We as a society, we are saying it is only for the good for the women. So we are judging you so that you will be good. We are passing comments at you because you will be good. So it's not like we are telling it because we want you to be in a bad road. We want to put you in the good path, and the path is what we decide. The path should be what we are putting.
The society had, whatever the stereotype was. That's the path for you. If you deviate from that, then you'll be judged.
Right. You're telling about you wearing short dress and standing outside Anna Nagar. I was wearing a complete sari. I wore a sari and I was completely, whatever. Saris are supposed to be the ideal women outfit in India. So I was wearing the ideal traditional outfit only, like not the ones that are
they call it to be like, seducing.
To be not appropriate for the society. So I was wearing something that the society has approved only.
Oh.
So I was wearing a sari, which is approved by the societies and all the other aunties living in my neighborhood. So now I'm going, I came, and it wasn't even that late. It was only 7 o'clock, and some random guy just hit me and he left. I was sitting in a cab and there was this thing was open, the window was open, and some random guy just hit me and left. And I was so angry because first of all I did not know his number or whatever the this thing, because first time you're so jerked when that happens to you. You're jerked. You're like, what happened? I don't know what's happening here. So you're confused at the moment, and by the time they just speed up and they leave. Now I'm just so angry at myself. I come back home and I'm breaking things, and then I'm like, why did this happen to me? Was I wrong? But I wearing only sari. It wasn't even that late. I wasn't out at 10 o'clock. It was just 7 o'clock.
You had to question yourself for someone that somebody chose to do that to you.
Yeah, and then I called this person, and then who's close to me, and then they are like, no, it's not your fault. It's okay. It's just that guys are like that. We just have to be a little more cautious about how we do. So, you know how it feels? It feels like no matter what you wear, even if I had worn a burqa and left, they would still find out, okay, this figure is a girl. So, this one is meant to be slapped, so I'm going to slap wherever I want. It's sometimes
step all over me, slap all over me. That is what written on me.
Yeah. So although we are sitting here and talking so boldly about it, but when we face that kind of a molestation or that
it's bad,
inappropriate touching that happens, it is very bad. You said about you're going to party, and in your party you're enjoying with your own girls, right? You're having a circle and you're enjoying with your own girls, or you have trusted people around and you're enjoying yourself. But some random dude just wants to, come and spank you. Or just, or do the shoulder touching thing, and he just
walks off.
Yeah, it is so wrong. It is so bad, because the girl just walked inside a party doesn't mean that
you can touch her.
Yeah, she is not okay to be touched. She's only okay when she wants to be okay. You cannot touch any girl because she's just coming to a party.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just because she's wearing that outfit, I can just slap her there because that's visible. That part is visible. She's just wear a boot cut, the bodycon dress, and she's just giving all her curves out.
Yeah.
That means that she wants to,
be
me too. Yeah. She wants to be spanked, and it's me. She's calling for it. She's wanting for it.
It's also, they say it's because you went to a pub. That's why you're meant to be treated that way. But
isn't pubs for girls and guys?
Yeah, and also even if you go to a temple, in a crowded temple, you go to a temple where it is too crowded, it is too famous, there are guys rubbing against you in the back.
Yes.
So is it so? And
is it not a holy place?
Yeah, isn't it a holy place? Am I not supposed to be the goddess that all you guys worship in every different religion? Now you guys are rubbing on me. How is it even fair?
Now you're gonna rub on me and go inside and worship Durga.
No, my thing is you're like you said, okay, wearing short dress is a problem. So okay, now I'm wearing a sari. Then that is also a problem. Now you're saying, okay, going to the party was a problem. That's why you're being touched inappropriately. I'm going to a temple. You still touch me inappropriately. So
where am I supposed to go now?
I think we should be in all cages. Every woman should have their own cage. Yeah, they should be given a time to time water prison. Like a prison system.
Probably like we should have like a bar fenced around with a wheel so that we can navigate and just go around places, so people just gorge outside, like you see in Ayatul when the food comes, all these people like waiting for the food, and to just grab the food. That's what I think is gonna happen, and if the same society is gonna have the mentality towards women like this.
You feel like a piece of meat.
Exactly.
You feel like even though you are with the people you like and all that, but there's a constant vulnerability you carry with yourself.
What if someone
touches you? Because you're strong enough to give them a tight slap and saying, how dare you touch me? But the mental trauma that you will go through after it when you're coming back home
never goes off.
It never goes away. You might try to stand in the shower for a very long time to get that thing out of you. But someone touches you inappropriately without your permission is never going to be okay. Although we are saying you can dress the way you want, you can be the way you want. But sometimes when you're dressing in a certain way that society does not approve of, do you feel vulnerable? Like you will be attacked at some time. You feel like people are out to get you. Do you feel like that?
Yes, a lot of times when I wanted to, travel solo for throughout the 2 years I spoke, I didn't have, that big of a courage with me. I did have, but my parents were like, you're traveling alone, being a girl, I don't want you to have all the attention on you. So I couldn't go tell them that this is me, I'm gonna be this, I'm gonna be that, because they are gonna be concerned. It's not about you anymore. You're out in the society all alone. You're just like 20 years old. When I was traveling, I was 20 years old, and I don't think you have the capacity to handle yourself physically.
Correct. Yeah.
Even if I'm mentally okay with giving a tight slap or in me standing up for myself there when a guy touches me inappropriately, I don't think I have the physical
Muscle
power,
power.
or the physical ability to
Yeah.
take down a guy.
Right.
So that was a concern for me. So I used to take all this joggers or this full coms or this hoodies or things that covered my entire body when I'm traveling alone, because it made me feel safe. Being out in a society where a rape happens in this nation 15 minutes once there's a rape happening in this country. So in this place I want to keep myself safe.
My mom, she's very conservative. So every time we used to travel somewhere, she will make sure that we travel in the train and not in the bus. So all my childhood, I've never traveled in bus. Maybe one or two instances, that also very short distance, and that will also be a ladies full bus, or my dad would travel
Lady
along
seat.
with me. Yeah, my dad would travel. Otherwise, I never prefer buses at all. So we used to only go in ladies compartment. Even if it is crowded, also it's just another lady. So we used to go in ladies compartment. When you get down of T Nagar or Pondi Bazaar, so crowded. My mom used to give my mom used will even today she does it. She carries two bags and she hangs it on both her shoulders so that she can cover her chest and she can walk and nobody touches her. So she whenever we are traveling, we would not be cautious like that. So she'll give one bag to me and then she'll be like, hold it like this and keep it like this. And with the other hand, she'll have another bag in her hand and she'll cover me in the front and then she'll make me walk. And she will be more vigilant of who's walking around me. She'll turn here and there, and if some guy is like even if he's
Close proximity.
even if he's nearer to me, she will like throw me on this side, and she will be like, she'll look at him in certain way, and then he will go away the other way. Sometimes I feel like, why is my mom doing it? She's overreacting and all. But after growing up and after dealing with your life by yourself, then you feel like maybe your mom was right.
Yeah. And as I told you, my mom was a single parent for a very long
Right,
time.
yeah.
And she was been raising me and my brother all alone from like 33 years. As a kid, I used to have a question: why is my mom and like talking in two different tones to me and in someone in the call?
Okay.
Whenever she picks the call, she's like, yeah, tell me. So, okay, fine.
One word.
Bye.
Okay.
And to me, she's like, hey, Subina, this is that, this is that, this is that. I'll be like, I asked her in my childhood, like, why are you talking like in two tones? Are you like a different person? Why are you like, showcasing yourself like that in the call? And to me, you're like a different person. And later on, when I grew, she told me one reason that made complete sense. She told me after 8 o'clock, men in society, call a single mom or a single woman, and when she has like a nicer tone or a nicer, polite voice, they think it is like she's calling on attention towards her, and she's just single and she just wants really trying to be nice towards me. Why is she nice to me? I don't want to give that space at all. I just want to be rude. It made total sense to me.
Every time I'm traveling out for an event, or even if I have to go somewhere away, to the city or something, I still feel unsafe. I feel like I'm very scared. Like when I'm sitting in the cab, it would be Uber, it would be Ola only. But even when you're sitting in a cab or when you're sitting in an auto, I carry an extra shawl so that I can cover myself up. And it kind of scares you. You never know. They might be good people. They might be bad people. You never know what will happen. Once it happens, then there's no point of regretting it. So how I also don't know how to protect myself. I don't know how to maybe wear a Bahubali suit or a shield or something. I don't know. When I'm staying in the hotel room, it will be so quiet that you can hear people walking in the corridors and all, right? So that kind of freaks me out. That's I go check double, if I have actually locked the door properly, or if there's somebody even if there's a room service in 10 o'clock, I would have forgotten that I had ordered food. If someone is knocking on the door at 10 o'clock, I feel scared. It's how it's like we are these strong women who are earning, who are being bold, who are doing podcasts now talking about all these things. But we all have that
a slight scar in ourselves where we become very protective of ourselves when we are put in that situation.
Yeah, we say no that it's my right that I can wear anything, I can go out anywhere, but we are all scared inside. We are all somehow toggling through that in some way, but we are all like
we are all scared inside, but it's just what you choose to be. Like, as you told, even if you're going to wear a shorts or even if you're going to wear a burqa, people are still going to touch you.
Yeah.
It doesn't, make sense for me to wear a bikini or a short in, say that I'm going to a railway station, as I told.
Yeah.
But it makes total sense for me to wear that when I'm in a beach.
Right, yeah.
So I have certain places where I can dress accordingly, but that places, when it comes to like a normal space in the city, it's just the road. I think we are obliged to wear anything that we like.
Yeah. I think it's also selective. Have you seen the women or girls who are here in Chennai? They would be completely wearing all the traditional attires like a kurti or a pant. The moment they go to Goa, they're all wearing dresses.
I think it's based on their opinion towards people where they live.
Yeah,
Let's say
yeah.
that
Maybe
if
they're-
my parents are like living with me in Chennai and they're like very strict, like, thank God, like my parents are not. But if say that my all friends' parents are like pretty strict and they don't want their daughter to dress like that in the surrounding that they live in. Say that like somewhere when the daughter gets to travel to Goa, she doesn't have that judgment towards her.
We in a different place, people will not identify us, so we want to be more. We like that anonymity that we carry along with us when we are outside, and we don't want that kind of eyes on us when we are in our own hometown.
Yes, definitely. But if you ask me, every other girl would want to dress the same way that they dressed in Goa throughout their life.
Yeah.
But it's just they're a little bit scared to carry the same personality of themselves that they had here because they're going to be judged or they're going to be touched.
Yeah. I also think women are have very good sensibility. If a guy is not okay, they can sense it from afar. If
Yes.
someone has a very bad eye on you, or you feel like someone is staring at you, women know it better. Like women can sense that aura very quickly, a difference between a bad aura and a good aura. But how you said, it's hard for us to defend ourselves because honestly, if there's some guy who's just even taller and has more muscles and he's just gonna
Grab me.
put me down, then I don't have the energy to or the physical
Push
strength
him
to
or
push
strangle
back.
him, yes.
Yeah, push him back or fight. Towards the end, you will just submit if someone is doing something to you. So that way, it is scary only. That way, even though we say that we can wear whatever we want, it's just that we have to know the kind of dresses, which occasions we can wear, whether we'll be safe. All these things just run in our head.
It runs in our head, but even though deep down we know dress doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Even if I'm gonna wear anything, I'm gonna be touched.
Yeah.
But still, it goes in your head because you're just scared of what the society is going to think of. Probably, if someone touched me, I'll not be thinking that I'm wearing a short dress because of this someone is gonna touch me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna think I'm wearing a short dress. If someone touches me, people are gonna tell it's me who prompted him to touch me.
Yeah. See, actually, when we are talking about molest or whatever, but rapes, even that, it's not even age now. Small kids are getting raped. So more than 80% of POXO cases are because of people who are around them. All the small young kids who are not even, they don't even know what it is. When we were in 12th, when I was in 12th, I had no idea what this whole thing is and how do you talk to men, all my mom taught me was there's good touch, bad touch. So you always have to be away from men. You're not supposed to talk to the boys. Even the school system and the college system was like that, that they separate the girls and the guys, and you're not supposed to talk to them. Girls are supposed to wear kurtas and pin your shawls, so that you
Don't get negative attention from the guys.
It's there in our education system. So we are breeding women. It's not like we are uplifting them or we are empowering them. It's like we are all these broiler chickens and they are breeding us to
Inside
be
a
certain
cage.
way. Yeah, they're breeding us.
They call it just for our protection.
There was a video that MP Kanimori, she went to a college full of women to address the gathering, and she had apparently asked the principal, why is everybody dressed in a chudidar? And for that, the principal's response is, it's a dress code. Every girl here should wear a chudidar only and should have the dupatta pinned. And she came onto the stage and she said, I was asked not to bring this up on stage, but I'm still bound to bring it up because you're in a way telling that a girl's dressing could be the reason why she is being seen a different way. So you are putting some other thought inside their head while they are so young, which you should not be doing. As a MP, as someone who's born and brought up in Tamil Nadu, which is considered to be very conservative, for her to come out and say this, I felt refreshed.
Yes.
I felt if it was some other girl who is like 25, 26 talking about this, some other person in the West talking about this, I would have still felt like, yeah, okay, fine, she is more mature. But for her to come out and say that no, although I am from a conservative society, but conservatism doesn't mean that women have to be bred a certain way or some thought should be stuffed inside
Yes.
of her saying you have to wear only this kind of dresses.
There's always this boundary put around women telling if you are in this certain way, there's nothing wrong going to happen
yeah,
to you.
yeah.
But when something wrong happens to them, even when they're inside that boundary, then that's when that woman gets shattered.
Yeah. The worst part is women are the ones who are actually judging the other women more than the men. It's actually the aunties, it's actually your friends, or it's actually the women you are with. They are the ones who are not standing up for you. They are the ones who are judging you. They are the ones who are like keeping quiet for every.
And they give it a name calling it's more protective of you, and I care for you.
Yeah.
I just wish all good things for you.
Yeah.
If you wish all good things for me, even if I'm gonna wear a short and I'm gonna get touched, then stand up for me back then.
Yeah.
And they're like, you have all the guts to wear a short and you get touched, and all that I will hear from them will be like, I told you so.
Yeah.
I don't want to listen to someone, I told you so.
Yeah.
And be like, this is not what is supposed to happen when a girl wears a shorts.
Yeah.
I've listened to so many of these comments from my mom whenever, when random people stare at me in hospitals or in railway stations or in a normal walking space. My mom is like, I told you so not to wear the crop top. See, that uncle is now staring at your hips.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not about the crop top, it's about the uncle.
I admire women who are very beautifully
Upright.
dressed, who are differently dressed. It doesn't mean that they have to wear only saris and all the classy things. Even if they're out there wearing all the glamorous dresses, or I admire them. I feel like maybe I am not meant for it sometimes. Maybe they are.
But
doing
I
it.
adore you.
Yeah, I adore you. And going up to someone and saying that you look pretty, you look nice today, I really like your this thing. When it comes to from a woman to a woman, then you
It's
cherish
super
it more.
special.
Yeah, you cherish it more. Somewhere when guys tell it to you, somewhere you feel like they are trying to get your attention.
It's
and they're
like,
trying to impress
us
you.
talking about guys have a perspective where women talking about whey protein or protein supplements
yeah.
is just stupid. I feel like guys complimenting me is nice, but it doesn't matter to me because I
Yeah.
don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
I know like a certain amount of watch, a dress, or shoes.
Yeah.
I know there'll be this particular trend that's been going around for a while, and
Yeah.
one girl has been doing that trend, and I go ask her, hey, where did you get that? It's
Yeah.
so pretty.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
guys don't even know what's happening out there. So them just giving a compliment, oh, nice flowers. But I would have put in so much efforts to go
Yeah.
get that floral clip of mine
Yeah,
that I'm
yeah.
wearing on my head.
Yeah.
But a girl notices that. She'll be
Yeah.
like, hey, this clip is very hard to find.
Yeah.
Where did you get it? That's
Yeah.
the compliment I want. Guys are like, hey, beautiful hair clip.
Yeah.
They don't even know if it's a clutch or they just call it a clip. They're
Yeah.
like, it's a clip. Yeah, clip. Yeah, it's a good clip.
Do you have any fashion icons that you follow? You've been inspired of?
I like Riya Kohli.
Okay.
She is more of a person who dresses for comfort, and she has her own branding, and
Yeah.
she designs shorts or tops that makes you feel like yourself, and the colors are like pastel,
Yeah.
makes you feel like home, more comfortable. And I feel like her dresses and her style is more unique and different. And I also like Kendall Jenner, being
Yeah,
like she's not a fashion icon, she's just a supermodel.
Yeah.
But I like her dressing because with all the stereotypes, with having the small chitas and she
Yeah.
pulling off all the clothes,
Yeah.
and she doesn't give a fuck about anything.
My famous fashion icon is Marilyn Monroe.
Ha!
I
Love
she's
her.
a classic because it's not just her dresses. It's actually her
Personality.
her personality, the way she talks, the way she carries herself. I find that so fashionable. She can never go out of fashion. Her
And people
dress-
call her a sex icon.
Yeah, I was so crazy. I went and watched every documentary. I read books about things that were written about Marilyn Monroe. I was so fascinated with her. The red lips that she carried, the wing liners that she carried, her whole appearance.
Heel that she walked, the way she walked, I
Yeah.
can't pull off, man.
Kim Kardashian wore her dress, no, like her dress, the Marilyn Monroe dress. She wore it very
Yes.
in one
Met
of
Gala.
one of the events. So it's so nice. So it means that she's not a outdated icon or anything. And there's one thing she does. Okay, this is called a triangle of seduction. So what she does is she looks at a man through her eyes, and her eyes roll from one eye to the other eye of the man, and then it lands on she puts her eyes down, and it lands on her own lips, and she does this thing with her lips where she bites her lips a certain
Like
way.
this.
Yeah, like that. So that's a triangle of seduction. That she was a
I
queen
can't
of that.
that.
She was a queen of that. So it's not just like you wear all these revealing dress, glamorous dress, and you go before men or before everybody, and you can make them look at you like a wow. It's just that the way you carry yourself. Also. Yeah. I have a small sister. She's 13 years old. And she likes to wear sleeveless. She likes to wear shorts. She likes to wear these half shoulder dresses, but she's not allowed to wear it at home because they're very scared. They're very scared as parents, and also because they've been traditionally brought up and all that, they don't let her wear. So a lot of times I was the one who got her first tone jean also. So she wanted, she was so she was saying, Akka, I had it in my cart and I never wanted to buy it because I was not sure what Amma or Appa will say. So now that you got it, I'm so happy. So she was so happy wearing a torn jean. But having said that, I'm also very protective of her. I took her to this GST Food Street, and I did not let her hand go away from mine. I was holding her hand so tightly.
Throughout?
Yeah, I was holding her hand tightly. She was like, I'll go get this from there. No, you're not going anywhere.
You're coming with me?
You are coming with me. And it's just like you wear what you want. You can wear whatever you like. You can wear your sleeveless, you can wear your shorts, but be with me. Wherever you're going, you have to come with me until you're a certain age and until you have your own friends who you can trust. Until then, you are supposed to come with me. So I'm always holding her hand. I'm always looking out for her, who's near her, who's. So I kind of felt like I became my mom. That I mentioned in
Previously,
earlier, yeah.
during she used to cover you.
Yeah,
with this
unless I kind of sensed that maternal
Protective thing.
instinct that I got when I was taking. Whenever I take my sister out, I'm very, very protective of her. We say we can dress the way we want. We can go out in the society the way we want. But when it comes to our own person, we be
No.
okay with that.
will not be okay with that because we're trying to. That's what they call it protecting.
Yeah.
So with regards to that, I think I don't think your sister will have the same amount of protectiveness when she turns 25 or
Correct.
26.
Yeah.
You're scared because we are in a society where the children are being touched by their own family or
Correct.
like uncles or like very close relatives.
Correct.
We're not safe in our own house, own household. That's why you're not allowed to wear shorts in the house when men are there.
Yeah.
When my uncle's coming, or when my grandfather's there.
Right.
Anyone is there, like because we don't trust anyone.
Yeah.
We know we are living in a very bad society with so much bad eyes on a girl. We're trying to do what's best for her until the age she can herself decide who to trust and whom not to trust.
We are very rebellious. We are not listening to our parents. Our kids are going to be more rebellious. They are not never going to listen to us. So how do you tackle it is what I feel is if you have a guy at your home, then show him the way you should treat a woman. Then tell him, okay, this is how you have to treat a woman. If you see someone who's a girl, who's your schoolmate, who's your college mate, this is how you have to talk to her. This is how you have to approach her. You have to talk to her with respect. Wherever you go, you have to make sure you're maintaining some kind of a dignity. First of all, you have to have it as a man. And when you have a girl, tell her that certain dress. Do not tell her that certain dress will seek attention.
Prompt you.
Don't
from
tell
being
her
touched.
that. Yeah, let her wear what she wants. As a parent or as
Make sure you protect her.
protect her. You be there for her. You are building a safe community for her. We can only try our best. Okay,
Yeah.
if something bad has to happen, it will happen.
We make sure that she grieves out of it, and you are being supportive when she grieves out.
Yeah,
of it.
when she's going through that, then don't say that.
Just because of you wearing the short dress, you got touched.
Yeah,
Don't tell that to
next
her.
time make sure you don't wear this dress. Don't say like that. I think be empathetic about
Exactly. And if I would have went and told my parents, and they had that amount of maturity where they sat along with me and grieved along with me to get me out of the trauma that I've been through.
Yeah.
I think I would have been a much better person.
Right,
now.
exactly. I think mothers are the ones who are actually badly failing at it. That's how I feel. because as mothers should be the ones who should be like, you know, no, you
A
do
role
it.
model telling I'm a woman, I'm prone to do that.
Yeah.
I'll be there to protect you. You
Yeah.
do whatever you want. If something goes wrong, we'll handle it together.
அப்போ உங்க உங்க கிராமத்துலலாம் வந்து ஒன்ஸ் இன் அ டைம் பாட்டிலாம் வந்து ஜாக்கெட் போட்டா வந்து ரொம்ப தப்பு. ஏன்னா அந்த அந்த கிராமத்துலலாம் வந்து பார்ட்டிஸ் and all will not wear blouses. So they'll only wear like இது ஒரு சாரி மாதிரி. And they are, it's just never in their custom to wear blouses.
Blouse.
So when this blouse got invented and everybody was wearing it in the movies and all, slowly in the villages when that trend started to penetrate, and when parties wanted to, or even women, not just parties, women wanted to wear blouses, they were seen bad. Now look at the shift. Now if you're wearing sleeveless, you're seen bad.
So it can change anyway. It's just we have created the stereotype and we stick to follow it blindly without questioning it.
நம்ம கமல்ஹாசன் சொல்வார்ல, என்ன கலாச்சாரம் 5 வருஷத்துக்கு ஒரு வாட்டி மாறுது.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm telling. It changes every now and then.
Yeah.
But if you're sticking to one particular thing and if you're not accepting the change in it and you're not evolving in it, there's no point. My friend wearing a huge red bindi with a nose pin
Wow.
and a sari, and she aesthetically dresses all the time, and
Yeah.
that's her fashion.
Yeah.
I adore that. And I've seen another friend who wears all dresses, cute stuff, Pinteresty stuff, and she has her own style and
Yeah.
she calls it her fashion.
Yeah.
So it differs person to person. And
I think if a woman wants to dress completely, you know, want to close herself and dress and feel a certain way, I think that's okay.
no, that's
At the
completely
same
fine.
time, I admire girls who are like, you know, who are wearing the traditional saris and braiding their their plaits
Exactly.
until the end. They have long hairs, braiding their plaits, and then braiding their hair, and then having all the flowers.
That's
and all.
their, that is their style.
Yeah, I love to see that. If you ask me if I would do it every day, maybe I'm not that person. I would not dress up like how you would, and at the same time, would you dress up like me? Maybe
No.
you wouldn't. It's just that we respect the choices that
other.
we make.
Exactly.
Fashion is just a form of expression. Sometimes you're so down. What we do, we just wear a bold lipstick, maybe red or
To make a statement.
Yeah, make a statement. Or sometimes you feel like you want to shine through. You wear a bold lipstick. So it's a way that women
wanna
try to express their
themselves in the
emotions,
society.
their mood. Sometimes I go completely goth. I'm wearing all black. Yeah, all black.
It's like, you don't touch me today, I'll burn
yeah,
you.
today nobody's coming near me because I'm in goth mode. Sometimes that's how I.
As I told you, whatever I dress is my vibe today. If
Yeah.
you see me like that, you make sure that you behave like that today. It's not like I want your attention. I want you to know how I am today.
So we are not posting anything on Instagram just to get attention. That's the point number one.
Yeah.
We are dressing only for ourselves. We are wearing makeup only for ourselves. We are doing our own thing. Please, the only request is please don't judge.
Actually, I don't want you to acknowledge, but also not judge.
Not judge.
Just
yeah.
be whatever you are. Just walk off. Just don't even look at me. I'm fine with it. But
You don't
do
have
anything.
to. You don't have to like what I wear.
Yes.
But you also don't have
Comment
to have
on
an
it.
opinion on it. Sometimes we complicate a lot of things because we have an opinion on something.
Yes.
Sometimes just don't have an opinion. Sometimes you
Just do whatever you want to feel like.
yeah. If you feel like somebody, also this is something that I want to say to the other girls. If you feel your other person who's sitting beside you or who you see randomly on the street is looking good, go up to them and tell them that they're looking good.
Yes.
It makes our day. When it comes from a girl more than a guy,
It's
it
really
makes our-
special,
It
I
makes
told
our
you.
day. Yeah. Okay, so how did you enjoy the?
It's really good. I felt like I have taken all the pressure out of my chest. I just put it here or shattered here. Like,
a woke perspective of fashion.
yes.
Like how we come out and say that we are okay to embrace all types and shapes of women wearing different attires
And their
throughout-
choices and all
in
that.
their
We
choice.
value all that.
Yeah,
and
we value, and we also spoke about the vulnerabilities that we also carry, and we spoke. Although we are bold, we are still scared.
it has its own positives and, negatives.
Okay, so yeah, thank you so much, Ray, for being
I
in
was,
this episode.
I was very happy being here.